Hi guys, my name is Crystal and I'm the owner of Glorious Grace Designs, and I am super excited to show you guys how I made my plaid VSplit tumbler. I'm going to put all the information below in the bio of where you can get the template and all of the other things that I use, where you can get those. The links will be below. If you have any questions, please ask. I love to help. And also in the bio, I will put the link to my business page as well as to my group and TikTok. So if you're on TikTok, follow me and like and subscribe to my videos. I will be making more to put up soon. Thanks so much and stay tuned. We're about to start. Hi guys, thanks for joining me. This is an example of the cup we're going to be making, and it is a plaid V-split 30-ounce skinny. I got this cup from Makerflo. I get them pre-sanded. I still have to sand just a little bit on it just because there's a couple of metal flakes, but they work really great. I'm using Peachy Olive Glitter, Jerk Face, Halos. I started out with lapis on this, and it turned out that it wasn't it wouldn't go on as thick as I wanted it to. It was really light. So I had to switch it out later for Ravenclaw. That vinyl that you see there, I got from Hobby Lobby. This is a template that I'm using, which I got from Ella B Creates. You can find her on Etsy. The information will be in the bio below. I love these templates. They are super easy. You just cut it on your Cricut, you trim it to size, you put your transfer tape on there, and it just wraps perfectly around your cup. The cup is prepped and base painted with Coral Crush Flippin' Awesome paint, which I got from the Crystalac store. Everything, well, not everything I use, but most of the things that I use is Crystalac products. I love their products. I do not use epoxy. I use Brite Tone for my clear coats because it's non-toxic, and I absolutely love it. So what I'm doing here is I'm taping the template onto my cup just so that I can make it steady when I start to peel the backing off to get ready to place it on my cup. So this really helps just to keep it in place. So after I put the tape on, I peel back just enough to where I can cut a little piece of the backing off of it. That way I can attach it to the cup. Now remember to use 631 vinyl or any removable vinyl. You don't want to use permanent vinyl for this. It would be really hard to get it off your cup because this template is going to come completely off of your cup. It's not going to stay on there. So I'm using a tool called a pen. I got that from 143 Vinyl, and I love that thing. It's amazing. It's basically an ink pen with a needle on the end of it. It works really well for weeding as well. And then a lot of the stuff you'll see, if you've ever used Close to My Heart products, you'll see a few of those in here because I used to be a scrapbook consultant, and I have tons of Close to My Heart items. Those scissors is one of them. So I'm cutting that backing off, and then I'm going to go ahead and attach it to the cup. So I'll just roll my cup over it. Now that I've got that done, I can go ahead and remove the tape. Excuse my dog barking in the background. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start removing the rest of that backing so that I can attach this template completely to the cup. Sometimes people will prefer to flip it over and roll it forward, like basically put your fingers across the top of it and smooth it as it comes off. I find that it's easier to put it on this way. I watched a couple of videos of people who have used these templates before. You can do it either way, whatever works best for you. We all have our little tips and tricks that work good for us. So I'm almost finished here, getting the rest of that backing off. Work with it. It can be a little bit tedious. Sometimes your backing doesn't want to come off, or you'll You'll notice that some of your vinyl will want to stay on there. Just work with it and be patient. I promise you're going to love these templates. I love them. I bought 7 of them from her. She has them for all different kinds of cups. She's got them for hog cups, Makerflo cups, stainless steel depot, you name it, and she's got some templates for it, and I think she's continuing to make more all the time. So there you go. Now I have the template on there. You'll notice that there's a bunch of bubbles. Well, that's fine. We don't care because it's going to come off. So it doesn't matter if it has bubbles. So what I've done is, I'll show you that sticky note here in a second, but what I did was I looked online for a plaid design, and then I just kind of made myself a grid and wrote it down so it would be easy for me to look at as I'm doing it. So now I'm just pulling off pieces of the template so I can get ready and start glittering. And again, I started with lapis blue that I mixed in with this other glitter, jerk face, I believe it was. And I didn't like how it didn't really cover very well. There was a lot of color showing through from my paint, which I understand the paint's orange, but it just was a really light glitter. It wasn't a big enough cut, I don't think. So I switched it out later for Ravenclaw, which is my favorite blue glitter. And I love all peachy glitters. I think that they sparkle more than any other glitters. It's just my preference. Now you'll notice on here, I started using Mod Podge because I've always been an avid Mod Podge user. I didn't have anything else. I just hate that you have to wait so long for it to dry. You have to wait overnight, actually, to dry. And so that's a pain. But recently, the Crystal Lac Company has come out with a glitter glue that you can dilute and spray just like the E6000, or you can brush it on. There's like 3 different ways that you can use it. You can also, I can't remember the other way. There's 3 ways that you can mix and use it. So for this, I didn't have it yet, so I started out using Mod Podge because I wanted to go ahead and get this tutorial done. And then as I was making it, you'll see in a little bit that it came in the mail. So I got to stop using Mod Podge and start using the glitter glue. So right now I'm just mixing a 50-50 mix of the lapis and the jerk face. Mixing that up so that we can have our mix for our plaid, because you'll use 2 solids and then a mixture of those 2 solids together when you're doing a plaid. And again, that sticky note is super helpful to keep me on track and let me know once I, get my pattern started. It's easy, but at the very beginning, it can be a little confusing. So I'm just putting some Mod Podge on that lid there, so it's just easier for me to reach it and get to it. And I appreciate everyone tuning in watching this tutorial. It is my very first one doing a voiceover, so I apologize if I talk too much or if I don't tell you everything you need to know. But if there's something I leave out, just ask in the comments and I will be sure to explain anything that you need me to explain. So now I'm just going to start sprinkling on that mixture, because I know some people start with solids first in a plaid, but the picture I pulled up online, it was a mixture first, so that's just what I did. Do whatever works for you. I'm using parchment paper underneath it so that it catches the glitter and I can easily pour it back into the cup or the bottle. Parchment paper works really well for that. Sometimes I use regular paper, but static electricity can tend to make that a little messy, so parchment paper is your friend. You'll notice that I tap off my cup. I kind of smack it. It helps to free up the loose glitter that's on there. I try not to put Mod Podge or any type of glue on really thick because I do know that it's going to take a while to dry, and it's just you don't want to bulk it up. You want to do as minimum as you can on that glue. But also you want good coverage, and you don't want it to be streaky. So you want it to be smooth and you don't want it to be super thick. And if you miss spots here or there, it's okay, because you can fix it later. Now what I do is I go through and I put the mixture on all the mixture spots first, and then I set that to the side and I let it dry for a good hour or so. So you'll notice you can see a lot of orange underneath those spots too. I'm at this point starting to second guess that Coral Crush was a great choice to use, but it ended up being a good choice later when I started using the jerk face glitter. So no big deal. Again, I can always go, and at this point I didn't have my glitter glue yet, so I knew I was going to use E6000 with a brush an hour later, and that way I could put more on. So after an hour of drying, I take a brush and I just lightly go across this cup, and that's just knocking off the extra glitter. And you'll see a lot of it accumulating on that parchment paper. So you want to shake up your E6000 really well, and a lot of times it's hard to get that stuff to squirt out. Once you use it, it clogs up inside the hole of the bottle, the nozzle, and also when you pull that nozzle off, you'll notice that it accumulates inside there. So I always try to take it off and scrape out the nozzle and the inside of it. And I'm just patting, I'm putting E6000 on my brush, and I'm just patting it on there. I'm not scrubbing it, I'm just basically just dabbing it on there. That way I can go ahead and put a second coat of glitter, and it'll be thicker and it'll look better and have a whole lot more coverage. So I've done that. Now I've added my second coat of glitter, and then guess what? My glitter glue came, and in the middle of me making this, I got it. I was super excited, so I was ready to try it out. So now I'm going to go to my next color, which ended up being that blue lapis, and like I said, it did not work out like I wanted it to at all. So I switched over to, I think, let's see here. As with any project, when you're in the middle of doing a cup, there's always going to be things that come up or issues that you have, and you're just going to have to figure out how to troubleshoot and fix the issues. So for this one, you know, I started painting on this glue, and I'm like, okay. I put on my blue glitter, which again is the lapis, I don't know how you pronounce it. And it just did not have good coverage. So I ended up wiping it off, and then I put on the Ravenclaw later because it just had terrible coverage. That's me looking at it going, I don't like it. So I wiped it off, and then I put new glue on, and then I used the Ravenclaw. And another thing I did too to try to cover up that Coral Crush was I put a little bit of Midnight Blue Flippin' Awesome paint in my glitter glue so I could tint it a little bit. And I used that to paint over top of that Coral Crush color so that I could put a better coverage glitter on there. I cannot tell you guys enough how awesomely beautiful that Ravenclaw is. It is a gorgeous glitter. I love it so much. That looks a lot better. And now it's time to put my second solid glitter, which is going to be that jerk face. I just love the names that Peachy Olive comes up with there. It's hilarious. Also, in the beginning of the video, that transfer tape that I used, I forgot to mention, I use Vivid transfer tape. I got it on Amazon. It works really good for some things. It's not super duper sticky. So if you need a super duper sticky transfer tape, that's not going to be the one. But I use it for most things, and I like it a lot. So now I'm just going to pull off the template removable vinyl from the bottom. I'm still going to have the V on the cup, which is also removable vinyl, but now I'm just removing the bottom part. Now, on the cup that a lot of you saw in some of the groups that I'm in was a burgundy and rose gold cup where I used rose gold and zodiac glitter. For that one, I did not use vinyl. For this one, I wanted to try it out and see how it would turn out. So I used patterned vinyl for the bottom part. It is a little bit harder. Well, it's a lot harder. It's a lot a bit harder, but I figured it out. I know epoxy users will go ahead and put their glitter on the cup, and then they'll put epoxy on there, and then they'll put their vinyl later. I'm one of those people, I want to try to get everything done that I can before I start my clear layers, so that's what I did. I did my glitter, and now I'm putting on this vinyl. So the easiest way for me to be able to position this the way that I need it to position and also be able to remove that V removable vinyl was for me to use the wet method on this. So I just peeled the backing off. I used my little squirt bottle. It has water in it and then a couple of drops of Dawn dish soap. And so you put a couple drops in there, shake it up really good, and then I just spray the back of that vinyl. And then I try to place it on my cup where I want it. And I'm sure that there are people watching this that are like, that is not at all how I do it. And that's fine. We all do things differently, and I'm sure that there's probably even an easier way to do it than what I did. And if there is, feel free to share it with me because I love easy. I love that doing the wet method makes it so much easier to just position that wherever I need it. And then I'm going to use my squeegee to just try to get all the water out from underneath it. That way there's none trapped underneath there. And I'll also use a microfiber cloth to rub over top of that area too. I really love the microfiber cloths. So another thing I noticed too when I was making this, and I completely forgot about it until now, is I have one of those little bags that's filled with cornstarch like you use for to get rid of static electricity when you're transferring glitter from pouches. So if you run that over top of your cup that has your removable vinyl on it, it'll remove static electricity and glitter won't stick to the white parts of it nearly as badly. Maybe I'll do another tutorial on that specifically. So here I'm using a X-Acto knife to just trim around the bottom of my cup, and that way the vinyl is not hanging off the bottom. And I am using my pen again to remove the V from the cup. I just love how amazing that flippin' awesome paint is. It doesn't come off. It works wonderful. All right, so I've got that done. And I put a thin piece of Cricut holographic vinyl around the bottom. I just thought it would be a nice touch. I also used my heating gun to go over my printable vinyl and that Cricut vinyl around the bottom just to make sure that it was stuck down really good. It kind of shrinks it really well. So that worked good to make sure that the bottom vinyl was really secure around the bottom part of that cup. Now I'm using my glitter glue to put on the V so that I can glitter with jerk face. Now I will tell you that I absolutely love the glitter glue. I think it's awesome. It's supposed to be able to use it and then an hour later you can press down or smoosh, and it's supposed to be completely dry in 2 hours. Now what I did find when I used it for this was that it didn't give me the best coverage for that V. So I glittered it and shook it off. Maybe I need to use a little bit thicker. I'll try that next time, but I was worried about streaks. But what I did was I shook it off, and there's going to be some spots on there. It dried a lot faster than I thought that it was going to, because in videos I watched, it seemed they were saying that it would dry. It takes a little bit to dry, but it did dry pretty quickly as I was working. And again, that could be because I put it on really thin. Now, I put that glitter on there. I shook it off. I put the glitter on the bottom. I think that that just looks really cool, and I love how that came together. And so after it dried, I went ahead and I brushed on the glitter glue. I didn't use E6000. I brushed it on, and it didn't move the glitter that was already on there, so that was fantastic. And I re-glittered it, and that's the cut that I was talking about before that got such great reviews. And again, I did not use vinyl on that one. It turned out amazing. And this one, I decided I would try vinyl. And I hope you like the tutorial, and let me know if you have questions. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on TikTok, Facebook, join my VIP group, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, and have a great day.